Hey friends, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as Hey Wig Sister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'm here with another name brand wigs best seller. This is Phoebe by Tony of Beverly in the color Silverstone, a really gorgeous gray. And I'm doing a series of best sellers for name brand wigs, and this cute short style is one of them. If you'd like to know more about Phoebe or this color, because they do carry other styles in this color, and I will cover it inside and outside, then stick around. My name is Denise. I'm also known as Hey Wig Sister on Instagram and Facebook. I have a lot of wig reviews and also Tip Tuesdays where I teach you how to work with your wigs, whether they're synthetic or human hair. Name brand wigs did send me Phoebe so that I could show her to all of you. They're a wonderful online retailer and they carry all the major name brands, synthetic, heat-friendly synthetic, and some human hair as well. I will put some details in the description below so you can go check them out. Just keep them in mind for a future purchase because I really do love them and I love supporting them. Plus, they're here in Minnesota where I live, and so they're more of a local wig retailer for me. Let's take a look at Phoebe from all sides. I have timestamps in the description where I cover all the major sections of a wig review. So if you're only looking for something in particular, always know that there are timestamps in the description of my video. All right, let's talk about Phoebe's cap. Phoebe has a lace front and that is it. So let's take a look at that lace front before I take her off and show you inside the cap. The lace goes, oh, that's actually more of an extended lace, almost. It goes, let me make sure I have her situated. It kind of goes from temple to temple. Plenty of lace if you want to style it up off your head. This is not focusing. Hopefully you're getting a look at it. I don't know why my camera isn't wanting to focus when I get up close. Technology, not my friend sometimes. So there is that lace front. It's a deep lace front, so that does give a little bit of an appearance of part line because it goes right back to about there. So generally, people aren't looking further back on your head, but do know that there is no monofilament on this if that's really important to you. We've got ear tabs with soft material over them, an extended nape with soft material, Velcro adjusters, and then the rest is open wefted. This cap is super, super lightweight. I think it weighed like 3.1 ounces or something. Very lightweight. I would say this is a lowish density piece. It has plenty of hair. You don't have to worry about seeing down to cap, but it's not a lot of hair, not a heavy density. I do want to mention that there is a little bit of Permatease right up here. Right at the very, very top, there's some Permatease and a little bit of Permatease all the way around the crown. What that does with this style is it gives it a little bit of roundness. So it looks like a rounded bob, short bob. Like, you know, if you're styling your hair to go out or you're getting dressed up for something and maybe you take a round brush to your hair to get a little bit of smoothness and roundness to it, that's what the Permatease does on this. It isn't a ton of Permatease. I know Permatease for some people is kind of a dirty word. I know in the very beginning of my journey, I really tried to avoid Permatease because I felt like it made the wigs look too overwhelming to me. This is just the perfect amount to give it roundness, and it's not like so super flat. But if you struggle with Permatease, well, I hope that you can get to the place someday where you can wear a wig with a little bit of Permatease. You do need to know that this one has some, just so you're not surprised, because again, this is all about the information. I don't think it's good or bad, it's just information. Something you want to be aware of on this piece, the nape is 1.5 inches. When I say nape, I mean back here. The reason why that's important is because if you have a low hairline in the back and you have bio hair, a short nape, I would say anything 2 inches or less is where you really have to be aware of your own bio hair. And you may actually be able to see it a little bit on the bottom. I think they did a great job of putting some wispies down here. That feels a little bit longer than 1.5 inches to me. Where a short nape can sometimes be a challenge though is right here. So right behind the ear, it kind of dips in, and then some of that nape hair starts. So if you have a low hairline and you purchase a color that is different from your bio hair, that's when that 1.5 inch nape or whatever the length is something to be aware of. If, on the other hand, you are wearing a color that matches your bio hair, I don't think it's that big of a deal because it will blend pretty well. So just be aware of the length of this nape. Before we get to color, just a summary. I love Phoebe. When I reviewed her the first time, I just absolutely fell in love with this one. I think she is darling. She reminds me a lot like my mom's bio hair. The color, this is, you know, she didn't have it in quite this polished of a style, but not terribly different. A little bit shorter right in the front and on top. But I think if you, and this comes in many other colors. I didn't count them, but it's like the list was long, like 20 other colors or something like that. So if this isn't your color, but you love the style, go check and see if they have a color that you would like, because there are a lot of them. But if you're looking for, I think this is a shake and go, but you want a little bit of polish. Maybe you want something when you go out to an event or go out to dinner or go to church or whatever it is that you go and maybe put a little makeup on and you do your hair. And this is the style you like, a shorter sort of A-line bobbish wig, then Phoebe should be on your list. I just think she's wonderful, super easy to wear. The one caution I will give you, because there's no part line and because there's a little bit of Permatease, you may see a little bit of Permatease right in here. It depends on the color. I think lighter colors and non-rooted colors, a little bit of a greater risk at seeing that Permatease. Headbands, always my go-to with short wigs and wigs that are too poofy and where you might see visible Permatease. Just sticking a headband up there is going to hide any visible Permatease that there might be. And you can just shove it in there and leave it like this. You can tuck a little bit. I do love to tuck the front when I've got a short style and a headband. If it doesn't want to stay tucked, you can put a little bobby pin in there. And because this does have a lace front, you can always pull it up in the front. Let me see if I can do this. This wig is, you know what I didn't do yet? I didn't do size, so we'll do that next, or fit I should say. This wig is just a slight bit big on me, and so I gotta hold it down when I'm putting, otherwise I'm gonna pull it right off my head. But what you can do is you can pull some of that off your head. Just make sure you've got a little bit of hair down on the sides to hide the transition to the cap, but that's such an easy, quick hairstyle, and it will help if you struggle with wigs, whether they are a little too poofy or just not, you're not used to them yet. A headband's really a useful tool. I'll put a link to all of my favorite headbands in the description. Let's talk about fit. I find Tony of Beverly wigs to run average to a little bit smaller than average typically. I have a 21.25 inch circumference, and I actually had to cinch this in a fair amount in order to get it to fit me. I mean, you can see how much I had to cinch it in, and I think I even need to cinch it in a little bit further than that. And I would wear a wig grip with this. That's going to help this stay on my head really comfortably. So where the circumference is concerned, I'd say that's running really true to average. When my circumference was 22 inches, before I lost a whole lot of weight, Tony and Beverly fit me great. So I do think that the circumference is very, very average. And there's a ton of stretch in Tony of Beverly wigs, so there's room to grow and for it to stretch for you. Where I think it tends to run just a little bit on the smaller side is up here. I don't get like a lot of extra cap up here, and I am very, very petite over the top of my head. And the ear tabs sit a little bit high on me, not much, just a little bit high. I like them to be just a little bit lower to give me the best coverage for my bio hair. So in general, I'd say pretty average, maybe a little bit smaller over the top, not petite, just a little bit smaller than average, and very, very average in the circumference. I know a lot of you have like an average circumference and a kind of more petite over the top of your head. This is a perfect wig for that. All right, let's talk about this color, Silverstone. This is a gray, and they've got, actually Nape Brand Wigs has the color codes on their site, which I appreciate so very much. Let me actually take this off and I'll talk about it while you can look at it more closely. So we've got a 17 and a 101 in here. So a 17 is a medium ash blonde. A 101 is a platinum, and you can kind of see that right up here in the front. I do not know why this doesn't want to focus when I get close. Any tech experts out there? And then we've got a highlight of a 48. A 48 is a light gray brown with 75% gray. So this is definitely a gray, but it's an interesting dynamic gray. It almost looks like you have gray hair and you go to the salon just to get some maybe low lights put in it. The low lights aren't dark at all. There is no root on this, but you can see it looks like it's been colored in some way. And I have heard women who have gray hair they don't want to completely cover their gray, but they want just a little bit of tonal interest to it. And that's what this reminds me of. It looks like there's like the platinum is really ashy and pulling gray. And then it's almost like somebody put a light brown through it. That's what it reminds me of. So a gray with almost like light brown highlights. It's so beautiful. I think it's a good transition color. So if you have gray bio hair, but you don't currently wear gray wigs, sorry guys, my dogs are barking. I think there's a delivery. You don't currently wear gray wigs, but you want to. Maybe you want to make the transition to gray. This could be a great one because it's got all of that in it. So it's not like you're going from whatever you're wearing, blonde or light brown, straight to gray. This is a real fun color. Let's get outside so that you can see this color outside. And thank you once again to Name Brand Wigs for sending me Phoebe, a bestseller, so I can share it with everybody. See you guys later. All right, friends, let's look at this color outside. See how much lighter right in the front it is. Okay, one more close up. All right. Hey friends, thanks so much for watching. Here are a few videos I think you might enjoy. Go ahead and click on one and watch.